There you go.
Shaped like trimmer, I thought. I didn't like it. I was like, I'll stick with my little pointy one shape this way.
By the way, everybody, one thing to pay attention to, if you're ever going to wipe your blade, everybody real quick, if you're ever going to wipe your blade, if you're going to wipe it, you want to wipe it like this, push things down the blade. Don't ever wipe across the blade. Okay? Always, if you're going to push things off, in fact, chefs don't ever touch the blade like that. They'll just knock it like that. They also don't care how much of a mess they make. But they're always knocking their knife like that to get things off of it. So if you're going to push things off the knife, always push it away from the sharp edge. Hey, Mita. I'm doing good. Welcome.
All the way up.
Yeah, guys, remember, it's not about speed, it's about technique. Remember, use the back of the blade. Use the back of the blade. Nice and slow. If you want, find a station, we're just practicing. Okay. And we got your stuff all set, ready to go. If you want to do that while we're up here, the dish is out in the back. What I just taught them how to do is just basically take. Yeah, so take the knife and just try to do the rock and then each one of the cross. So just really simple things to do. I was just, this is not shop. Breaking through down with the whole, so, you know, what I need to do is
I think I told my knife right away when I got it. I have to last 3 hours. I thought they were prettier and easier to clean, and I didn't like these ones that got all scratched up. And I just didn't believe it. And that's probably why those
well, you got a bunch of them. You got all
cheaper
of them.
knives sold my dad after I paid $90 to get them.
No. You can actually go Dave's out of the store. It's on the shelf in the back of the room. Okay. So did everybody got that? Everybody got to practice a little bit with that? Yep. Thumbs up? Okay. So everybody, if you guys want to clean off your clean off the celery. The bucket should be under the seat. It's right. Can I use your bucket?
I'm certainly just looking at 9
Okay. All right. Now that we've practiced this, Alexis, switch me with your giant carrot, please. Thank you. That's awesome. You did wonderful. That's better than I did. Hey, Sophie, switch me. Okay, so the next thing we're going to do, guys, ladies and gents, all right, we're going to do the same exact thing now, but with the carrot. Okay, so we're going to do. And this is going to be hard to do. So everybody watch this first, because the carrots we use the celery first because it's soft, it's easy to do. The carrots are a little bit harder. So a couple of general things that when it comes to round foods, if I was going to chop this whole thing, the first thing I want to do is find its natural resting position. If I'm trying to chop it and it's fighting me all over the place, that's just no fun to mess with. The other thing I'm going to always do is I'm going to cut the knot off the end of it, because if I'm trying to cut through it, it's just kind of hard to do. So I'm going to find its natural kind of resting position, and what I'm going to do with this, again, regardless of which knife I use, so whichever one you use first, we're going to do the same thing down the middle. So we're going to cut it down the middle, and in this case, because the carrot's harder, I'm going little pieces at a time, and then when I get toward the back, this one I can then finish it off like that, because now that I've gotten through it most of the way, it's going to be pretty straight. Now I can put this to the side, and I can roll it onto its flat side. Now it's not fighting me at all. And I can cut it down the middle again. And then I'm going to do my rock chop. And once I get it broken down with that, I'm going to do my cross chop. So we're going to do the exact same thing you just did, but we're going to do it with something different so you can get a feel for the harder vegetables now. So go for it.
Okay.
If you start from the skinny end, it's easier to cut the fat end off and then start splitting from the skinny end. It's easier to control when you start from the skinny end because it's easy to get started. It's easier to get started. Those tables aren't flat perfectly, so you're sorry your cutting boards are wobbling around.
Kind of scary.
Hey, so why don't you use the other knife again? That's the same thing, just a little bit smaller. It's soapy size. There you go.
Do it all the way down.
You see, because it was just like it was rolling around. Again, once you cut it in half, you guys lay it on the flat side so it's not fighting you, rolling around.
Oh, really? That part's not short. Done.
Okay, Sophia, do this. Turn the carrot around now. Yeah, turn it this way. Now cut it that way. There's no blood. Oh, nice, yeah. Okay, just put them out there. People can grab them when they think. And you don't need to do that last. Yeah, you don't need to throw it away. Push it away. I can see you. Keep going back at it. Start with the little one.
Cuts all those onions. Oh.
I am actually making a turkey on Saturday. So I would love to take this stuff home to make homemade broth.
You know what bouillabaisse is?
Good job, Alexis. It's been a nice little pile there.
I'm telling you, I'm so bad with knives. I have scars on my hands with them.
Well, did you learn some stuff?
I'm like, I'm nervous. It's like,
So you're doing okay?
Oh my gosh.
And then just do the cross chop to kind of.
sometimes Martha Stewart should be on there. Martha Stewart videos. Yeah. There's another guy.
So here's another thing people ask all the time. Should I be scraping the cutting board with my blade? The blade is meant to come in contact with the cutting board. So it's kind of like spackle. Use it like a tool. Is it going to dull your knife? Maybe a little bit, but what did we already talk about? How often do I have to sharpen my knives? All the time anyways. So I don't mind using it like a tool because I'm going to sharpen it anyways, and I'd rather use it the way that it's designed. If you use the back of the blade, that's fine too, but it's just more things. I don't like the blade up. I like remembering what's going on personally. Okay, if you haven't done so yet, switch so you can use the other style knife.
It doesn't
Danielle?
matter
instead of scraping like this, where you were kind of pushing, just use the blade. If you're pushing like this, the cutting edge is going to hit. It's going to try to grab into the cutting board
I'm not
sometimes.
eating those.
So use it like that. It's just easier.
Yeah, I take that out.
There you go. I do. It's just easy. You have more control when it's just easier to start.
I'm thinking this bigger one might be easier to cut the length of this one.
Yeah, because it's more like a well, and maybe those noises when you tell you when they're going to taste it.
Now that it's pretty well, it's almost more than
Maybe I have some of my knives sharpened because I have a harder time cutting carrots than I did just now.
Emerald was going to give to his audience.
Yeah.
I did way better with this one. Looks like I like that one more,
Or you're just getting used to the one thing I was doing, half the smell.
watch what you're doing. Don't watch me.
Or a larger cutting board.
Hold it like flat. Yeah, flat. Don't put your fingers and tips down. You made salsa. Cut everything. It was fabulous. That's the way to do some knives.
Did you cut yourself some?
We have one.
All right. It live? It works.
She got it easy.
All right. Let's go ahead and start working on finishing up this one and clean up your cutting boards. We'll do the potato. I'll show you a couple cool things with the potato. And then we'll let you guys do that, and then we want you to put your salad together. So do you guys feel it getting better? Feel it getting easier? Yes? It's going faster? All right. Just be careful. Quit hitting yourself.
What are you doing?
Okay. So if we can get these, let's get the carrots cleaned up. Put that in your bucket. So you guys notice how it's getting easier and smoother, getting the technique down. Beautiful. So these are the two basic chopping techniques that you can use for the vast majority of chopping that you do. You see, a lot of times you'll see chefs doing this. You know, they do the whole. It's easier to do this anyways. You know, that tap chop they call it, where they're just. I don't like that. It's just too much going on. I can do everything that needs to be like that. Now, every once in a while, you'll have something that's a little bit thicker skin. Like if I wanted to dice this pepper, so we'll do the pepper as part of the recipe in a minute. But instead of just pushing up and down, because the skin on the pepper, it's catching a little bit. So the other nice thing that you can do about these knives is these are actually designed to kind of flow like a choo-choo train almost. So if I've got something that's a little bit harder and it's got a thicker skin, I'm almost slicing through it instead of just pushing through it. So these are designed to kind of move and flow like that. So if you have something that has a little bit heavier skin, that's how you can get through it. Or if your knife is dull and you didn't get a sharpener yet and you need to finish your dinner, you can get it moving and slice through stuff instead of just trying to push through it when the knife's starting to lose its edge a little bit. So another little tip there. Okay, now let's go on. Let's show you the potato. Same thing with potatoes. Potatoes are round, okay? So the first thing that I do when I'm cutting a potato is I just take a little bit off the bottom and I square it up so that it doesn't roll around on me. That's the first thing that I always do. Now I'm going to show you how to make homemade French fries, and then home fries, and then hash browns. Okay? So basically you just keep going is all it really boils down to. So what I'm going to do with this is basically I'm just going to cut it this way a few times. I'm then going to roll it over and I'm going to cut it this way a few times. And you're going to have French fries just like that. Okay? So however thick you want them, I'm going to do about a ½ inch. So again, I'm going to do the high cut and drag this through so I have nice even slices. Okay, so I've sliced through it this way a few times. I'm going to take one of the other rounded edges off. And I'm going to roll it forward onto another flat edge. And now I'm going to do the same exact thing that I just did. And now I have French fries, just like that. Okay? See how simple that is?
So we have like 11.
What's that?
We have like 11.
I have 11 French fries?
What?
You want to bet? Counting how many slices I made? Okay. If I wanted more than 11 French fries, just keep cutting them. Cut them thinner as you do it. So now if I wanted to do like cubes instead, so if I'm doing hash or if I'm doing a stew or something, I do what I just did, and then you just turn them sideways and you just cut them one more time this way. And now you've got little cubes. And then if I want hash browns, I'm going to now do my cross chop and just break it down into little tiny pieces. So this knife you can do so many things with real simple movements that we just taught you. And in no time, you're going to be making your food look better, taste better, and you'll be making more stuff with these skills. They're super, super easy. So again, just to show you what I did, and then we'll let you guys practice with your potatoes. So again, the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to make it flat on the bottom so that it's not rolling around at me. I'm going to cut it this way as many times as I want, and again, as thick or as thin as I want. So it depends on what you want your fries to look like, or if you want more than 11. Roll it back onto another flat side, and I'm going to cut it this way again. The challenging part is holding it all together. So one of the reasons I'm not just pushing the knife through and dragging it, I kind of do the slice thing because it gives me a little bit more control over what's happening. So just that simple, okay? So grab your potatoes and let's do that, and then we'll get to the salad. So just take a little end off of the bottom, give you a flat resting space.
Does it matter what side you start with as to the hand you're holding it with?
No,
You start from one side and work.
I tend to start on the outside. I tend to start with my knife hand and go in toward my body. But I also, yeah, there you go. I hold it like that. Take another piece off so it's not round. It's not rounded at all. Or fold it the other, set it the other way. There you go.
Now we only have like 2.
But now,
Yeah, how are you? Like, that's scary.
it's only scary because you're afraid of it. It's not really scary. You just don't. There you go. Yeah, hold it like that.
I can't tell you
Danielle,
how easy that is.
put the knife like this. So I mean, just you don't have to. So I can put the knife down and then put my hand around it. So take one of your ends off and roll it onto the flat part. And now, yeah.
But it's like really close to my fingers. It's like, it's scary. Which way do we go now?
You want to turn it onto the flat side and now slice it again. Nope, slice it, turn it long ways.
We only have 11.
Yep.
My hand.
Mom, you want me
No, you just stay in your seat.
to do another
You got to take home potato there, Sophie?
I like start sweating every time I make
We have one more than
Next time you two can just come without me.
Ancient frame it and stick the picture on.
I keep turning the hair down. Yeah, me too. Yes, ma'am.
Are you talking about a rice or not talking about?
Oh, I'll have bags up front that I'll grab. See if we can see it.
There's metal one that would stand out on the top. And I stick a potato on it.
What do you want?
Well, I actually want to make broth, and we don't make broth with this.